Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Oh, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Oh Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram. Oh Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Oh Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Oh Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram. Oh Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Oh Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Oh Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Jaya Nitai Gaura Chandra, Nitai Gaura Chandra, Gaura Hari, Jaya Jagannatha, Jagannatha, Baladeva, Jaya Shri Subhadra, Jaya Radha Sharad Vihari, Radha Sharad Vihari Shri Radhe, Jaya Lalita Sakhi, Jaya Vishakha Sakhi, Jaya Ashtha Sakhi, Jaya Radhe Radhe, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Srila Gurudev, Nitai Gaur Premanandi.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janavallabha Girivadadhari Gopi Janavallabha Girivadadhari Shodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Jamunatira Vanachari Jamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivadadhari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivadadhari Shodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Jamunatira Vanachari Jamunatira Vanachari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Jagana Jaya Baladeva Jaya Subhadra Jaya Nitai Gora Chandra Nitai Gora Chandra Nitai Gora Chandra Gora Hari Nitai Gora Chandra Nitai Gora Chandra Nitai Gora Chandra Gora Hari Gora Chandra Nitai Gora Chandra Gora Hari Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada. Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya, Gurudev. Nitai Gaura Haribo, 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 Nitai Gaura Haribo. Nitai Gaura Haribo, 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 Nitai Gaura Haribo. Jayam Vishnupad Paramhansa Parivajikacharya Astottara Sata Shishimara Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Shri Prabhupada Ki Jayam Vishnupad Paramhansa Parivajikacharya Astottara Sata Shishimara Divine Grace Shri Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Ananta Koti Vaishnavindi Ki Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur Ki ISKCON Founder Charya Shri Prabhupada Ki Prem se kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Dvaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhaktavrindi Ki Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shyama Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan Ki Vrindavan Dham Ki Mathura Dham Ki Navadvip Dham Ki Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jagannath Swami Ki Ganga Mai Ki Jamuna Mai Ki Tulasi Devi Ki Bhakti Devi Ki Hare Krishna Mahamantra Ki Samaveta Bhaktavrindi Ki Nitai Gaura Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the lotus feet of Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga. Narayana Namaskritya Naruncheva Naruttamam Devim Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayam Udidayat Nashta Prayisva Badrisu Nityam Bhagavata Sivaya Bhagavata Uttamasloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Hare Krishna. So this afternoon's class is about the essence of Bhagavad Gita. The essence of Bhagavad Gita. And I've heard a lecture where the essence of Bhagavad Gita was summarized in one text. And the text is in the 18th chapter, the perfection of renunciation. Yet, what was coming to me was to have summary of the important points in the Bhagavad Gita. And then I started thinking, what is the important point of Bhagavad Gita? First time I started reading Bhagavad Gita, I started highlighting all the important points. And it was good because so many things that I didn't know I was learning about the soul. So I kept highlighting. And I started realizing I was highlighting a whole page and highlighting the next page and highlighting the next page and highlighting the next page and realized everything was important in Bhagavad Gita. It's that powerful a book of knowledge. Tells you it's very, very, not only is it knowledge, it's an eye-opener, literally. When you read and begin to, by the mercy of the Lord, understand what is mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita, you'll understand the essence of life, this life period. So we'll start with chapter 2. And the text in chapter 2 is text 17. If you want to either supply Bhagavad Gita or pick it out from your cell phone, you can do that also. Chapter 2, because chapter 2 is entitled The Contents of the Gita Summarized. And for those of us, some of you were born in India, you just write either in Hinduism or you got to know at least some things about Krishna first. Some of us were born in different places and we only knew about Christianity. And it became clear that the Christianity was not telling us much about the nature of the soul, although it was known, but it wasn't telling us much about it. And right in chapter 2, by the way, it's chapter 2, text 17. Chapter 2, text 17. The soul is described in detail when Krishna says to Arjuna, you worry too much about your family relationships. Nobody is really the body. So we'll go through chapter 2, contents of the Gita summarized, text 17. So you could just repeat up to me. Abhinashi tu tad vidhi jena sarvam idam tatam vinasham avyaya yasya na kaschit kartum arhati avinashi tu tadvidi avinashi tu tadvidi jena sarvam idam tatam jena sarvam idam tatam vinasham avayasyasya vinasham avayasyasya na kaschit kartum arhati na kaschit kartum arhati. Okay, let's go on. Abhinashi 217. Abhinashi, imperishable. Tu, but. Tat, that. Vidhi, know it. Jena, by whom. Sarvam, all of the body. Idam, this. Tatam, pervaded. Vinasham, destruction. Avyayasya, of the imperishable. Asya, of it. Nakaschit, no one. Kartum, to do. Arhati, is able. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. That which pervades the entire body, you should know to be indestructible. No one is able to destroy that imperishable soul. Please repeat. That which pervades the entire body, you should know to be indestructible. No one is able to destroy that imperishable soul. It has a long purport. We'll just do some part of it related to this, hopefully by the guidance of my Guru Maharaj Srila Prabhupada. So this verse more clearly explains the real nature of the soul, which is spread all over the body. Shishinitai Gora Chanda Ki Jai. anyone can understand what is spread all over the body. It is consciousness. Everyone is conscious of the pains and pleasures of the body, or in part, or as a whole. Everyone is conscious of the pain and pleasures of the body, in part, or as a whole. I'm going to skip some parts because we're going to go to other texts too. This spreading of consciousness is limited within one's own body. The pains and pleasures of one body are unknown to another. Therefore, each and every body is the embodiment of an individual soul, and the symptom of the soul's presence is perceived as individual consciousness. So that's the first description of the soul, its nature and how it connects to the body. Om Gyanati Mirandasya Gyana Gyana Shalakaya Chakshu Om Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Peshtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharine Nirveshesha Sunyavari Paschatiyadi Shitarini Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Siva Shari Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So this first text here, which we took a part of the purport, Srila Prabhupada describing how the soul, the nature of a soul, pervades the entire body. First, from this particular text, it is clear the soul cannot be destroyed. That which it pervades the entire body. The soul is actually in the heart area. So how does it pervade? How does it cover? How does it have an effect on the entire body? It has an effect on the entire body because the soul's presence gives the symptoms. How we can tell the soul is present is from consciousness. Consciousness. Anyone can understand what's spread all over the body. It's consciousness. We go through pain, we go through pleasures of the body because the soul is there. Taken another way, when a person leaves the body, or we say is dead, the body doesn't experience any pleasure. The corpse doesn't experience any pain. The corpse doesn't even experience the presence of anybody around them, around it. There is no life, so the soul gives life. That's the first thing. Compared to what was being taught in the different religions, only when a person died was there some discussion about where the soul was going to go, because they were talking about, we hope that the soul goes to heaven. That's when they mention about the soul. But right in the second chapter of this very important book, we are being told the soul is not destructible. No one is able to destroy it. It is also the symptom of consciousness. It pervades the whole body. Believe it or not, some scientists, with their guesses, had come up with a statement that when a woman conceives, gets pregnant, with this body forming in the womb, and it gets to about the 7th month, then the body is fully formed, and they thought that at that time, that's when life comes into the body. And that was very interesting because, of course, it's wrong, but that's what they were putting out. So then from when it's tiny up to when it forms a full baby, the body is growing, and different parts are occurring into the body. So how does that happen? There has to be a life force that's causing it to happen, causing it to grow. But they thought that all of a sudden, when the fully formed baby now is in the womb, then that's when life starts. So they were talking about life starting when the baby is fully formed. But the question is, how does a baby fully form? So it doesn't make any sense. And we also know that when pregnancy is somehow interrupted and the baby is not fully formed and the baby is taken out, it will not grow. It won't. Death stops everything, even in the baby form. So the soul's presence, this is all to say that the presence of the soul in the body is what makes the body function. Therefore, birth means the soul comes into the body and the different aspects of the body begin to form. And when the soul leaves the body, then that's the end of that functioning of that particular body. That is death. So the real nature of the soul is, while it's in the body and the soul is active, the body begins to be, doing some things. We call that consciousness, how we act. The senses are also kicked in, and we use the senses to act. So each and every body, there is the embodiment of an individual soul. And the soul is very tiny. And that also explains why when conception starts, the soul can be inside the body. Sometimes we say the soul is atomic in size. The soul is actually smaller than an atom. It's actually that small. It's smaller than an atom. And it is measured in the Vedas as 1/10,000 the tip of a hair. The tip of a hair is kind of difficult to measure much text. Break it into 10,000 pieces and one of it. Very, 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 very small. And therefore, it can fit in the part when conception starts. It can easily enter. And it gives consciousness, and that's how the body is grown. When the body is finished, as far as its work, the soul comes out, and there are 5 kinds of air, I'm going into too much detail, that the soul floats into its next existence. It goes along with the subtle body, the consciousness, the mind, the intelligence, especially the mind and the intelligence. Everything that is done is recorded in the mind, and the mind goes with the soul to the next existence. And that's what explains why in some people, some things, abilities, come so easily to them. It comes so easily to them. 4 or 5-year-old boy is playing piano. How did that happen? Hasn't he started first grade yet? He's such an expert. I remember in Girinagri, we had a small school going, and I was teaching, and there was also another Mataji that was teaching, in the Lake Mataji. And he was teaching this young girl, Kalindi, I think that's her name, yeah, Kalindi. And Kalindi was a little slow in picking up concepts, but because the class was small, she got quite a bit of individual attention. Now, around 10 years old, thereabouts, I don't know the details of what happened, but she was given a violin. And it's almost like, excuse me to put it in American terms, all hell broke loose. This woman became an expert in a short while. He was playing violin easily. She took to it very easily, playing. So why is that? Where some people take lessons, piano lessons, other lessons, different instruments, and it would take them years and years and years and years, and they don't get into to even the expertise that some young person will say, oh, that's just amazing. Talent. Yes, it is talent. But the spiritual explanation of that is that soul in a previous life had actually mastered that activity, knew how. And when they left the body, the mind went, that's the subtle body, went along with the soul into the next body. So the abilities went along with it too, with the soul into the next body. And that's why that connection is there. So if she was a good musician previous life and could play the instrument, and this life, the same instrument is handed to them, it doesn't take long at all for them to master it. And that's why some people are very comfortable with some subjects that they have such a commanding ability to deal with it. It connects with their previous lives. And all of us have had a lot of previous lives. A lot of previous lives. Not every time were we in human body. Sometimes we weren't. The human body is the body that has the level of intelligence to understand the nature of life, the person themselves. It's a human body that can ask, what am I doing here? Why is this happening to me? Why is there suffering? The other 8 million types of non-human bodies, once the soul gets in there, the consciousness is limited. The intelligence is limited. You can't get to reason like that. So all the souls, that's us, in human bodies, have a very, very important question to answer. What is going to be my next life? Prabhupada's brothers have to think about what's going to be my next life. Do I want to come back here? Do I want to live this life? So the aim of life is to be delivered from the material energy. The aim of life is to go home. Therefore, if you don't know that already, this is not a church. It's not a church. When you come to this place, you haven't come to a church. You haven't come to a place where you're obligated because you heard about God. Therefore, if I don't come to say something one day out of the week about God, then I may be punished by God. No, this is a place that prepares you to leave the material energy, the material world, and go back home. And go back home. You leave the material energy to go back home. And as far as that's concerned, I'll go through some texts in the Bhagavad Gita. In chapter 12, which is entitled Devotional Service, texts 6 and 7, you don't have to repeat, but I'll just go right through it. Ye tu sarvani karmani mayi sanyasa matpara ananya neva yogena mam dhyayanta upasati tesham aham samudartha mrityu samsara sagarat bhavami nachirat partha mayi aveshita chetasam. So this is Bhagavad Gita chapter 12, text 6 and 7. The translation is, but those who worship me means Krishna, giving up all the activities unto me and being devoted to me without deviation, engage in devotional service and always meditating upon me, having fixed their minds upon me, O Arjuna, O son of Pritha, for them I am the swift deliverer from the ocean of birth and death. So Krishna is saying, you do one thing, and I will definitely deliver you. And he puts the ideas there. This is devotional service. Those who worship me, therefore the Lord has come in the acharyas form, the deity form, so we can worship the Lord. And some of us even have deities at home that we worship. So, as we're talking about this, repeating what Krishna has said, check your own selves. Do I do this? Do I do this? And if you don't, the arrangement should be made to try to do it. Those who worship me, giving up all their activities unto me, meaning that everything that we do, we have to figure out how can this benefit the senses of Krishna? How can this benefit Krishna's senses? How is this pleasing to Krishna? Is what I'm doing consistent with the directions given by the spiritual master? So giving up all the activities unto me, all of it means that some of it may be direct and some of it may be indirect. We will do service here that's direct to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Indirect services may be work-related, but you can spiritualize work by giving part of what you get from it, which means part of the Lakshmi that you get for it, to get to Krishna conscious projects, especially the temple that you belong to. That way, then the idea is, because you're getting what you're getting from your work, you're able to contribute for the maintenance and also service to the Supreme Lord. When we go to bed, before we go to bed, we begin to pray or read some things that connect us with Krishna before we go to bed. I was telling my wife, I think it was earlier today or yesterday, something like that, I was reading a book, Srila Prabhupada's Lilamrita, and book 4 talks about when he went to India, back to India from America, with some of his devotees who were white-bodied devotees who were here. And so many, how they, going around Delhi and different places. And then I fell asleep, and the dream was about Srila Prabhupada sending his devotees to different places in Delhi, and so many, just like I thought about, and doing service, different types of service. So you definitely do influence your mind, you influence the dreams, depending on what you're involved in just before you go to sleep. So you can spiritualize the sleep too. So engage yourself in devotional service without deviation. And always meditate upon Krishna. What's the easiest way to meditate upon Krishna? Chant the holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We don't do the type of Ashtanga yoga where you sit and so many things, and the breathing exercise, it's all been simplified by Lord Chaitanya. All you do is just chant this particular mantra. And the mantra means, O Krishna, O energy of Krishna, Hare, which is Radharani, please engage me in devotional service to you both. Please engage me in devotional service to you. So, when we meditate on Krishna, of course, we have our minds then fixed of Krishna. Krishna says, he will swiftly deliver us from a material energy, the ocean of birth and death. So, we are fortunate to be connected to a system that would take us back if only we would take it seriously. Now, we'll switch gears a little bit and talk about how a devotee develops Krishna consciousness when they first come. The first thing is Shraddha, faith in God, Krishna. That's there already. You all have it, otherwise you won't be here. So faith is there. So that brings you to the association of devotees. You come to the temple, you get to be around devotees, you get to do some of the things that the devotees are doing, you get to associate, talk to them, relate to them, serve with them. Sadhusanga, association of devotees. It's very, very important because Devotees are the ones that are planning, living, and helping others to see the road, the path back to Krishna. Then devotees are the ones you can talk Krishna consciousness with. As we take it more seriously, the time comes, by Krishna's mercy, for the person to get initiated, to get formally connected with the disciplic succession. That is their reservation now. They can go back to Godhead. They also have a guide, a spiritual master, to guide them. That's called bhajana kriya, initiation. And now there's vows that you take to follow the 4 regulated principles and chant minimum 16 rounds of japa. 16 rounds of japa, that's down from 64 rounds of japa that a Vaishnava is supposed to do. 48 of those rounds have been cut off. You're not really cut off. They're just given liberally. If you like, you can chant extra rounds. But a devotee chants 64 rounds. And now, by Srila Prabhupada's mercy, we can chant a minimum of 16 rounds and follow the regulated principles, which are what put us on the human platform. No meat eating, no fish, no eggs, no intoxication, no gambling, and no illicit sex. So after initiation, then actually this process we're going to talk about next has to start almost immediately. Anartha nivritti, removing the unwanted desires. To be free, we become free. If you remove the unwanted desires, you become free from sinful activities. And to do that, you have to associate with somebody who is quite fixed up, who has gotten help over the years and has been involved in this Krishna consciousness path for a while. And they have quite a bit of experience, so they can share, and they can advise, and they can counsel as needed. Now, you also should begin to act piously and engage in devotional service. Definitely, at that point, you're about to chant, so you have to chant. And if you're having trouble chanting, you need to associate with somebody who is fixed up and get that issue out to that person to give you help in order to stay with a minimum of 16 rounds of japa. So you associate with good persons. Now, with that comes nishta, full faith. Your faith increases. Now it gets to a point where nobody can tell you not to connect with Krishna. Anybody tries, and believe me, it does happen. I'm myself an example of it. My sister tried to get me away from Krishna consciousness, and with all due respect to my wife, my father-in-law tried to get me away from Krishna consciousness. Did not work. He didn't push so much, but she did. My sister really did. And it got to a point where, for the first time, I became a little nasty with her. I said, I have been in Krishna consciousness 26 years. That time, 26 years. I haven't learned what is good for or not good for by this time, that you're now going to try to tell me to get away from it. So I stopped talking to her. 2 years I stopped talking to her. And it wasn't that I was going to just stop talking to her for 2 years. I wasn't going to talk to her at all. She tried to make a comeback in 2 years. That's how we connected again. But I was prepared to go on my whole life without talking to her ever, if that's what it took. If it meant that it was going to try to get me to go back, into the religions that she was involved in. And that would have been the end of it. So I want my brother. All right, so we started talking again. I said, don't bring this matter up again, because I've been in it a long time and I'm not about to. So that's nishta, full faith. Now from that you begin to get a taste. Ruchi. Srila Prabhupada explains it. I want to hear about Krishna repeatedly when the person gets that taste. That's what they want. They want to hear more and more about Krishna. Everything that is discussed about Krishna is important to them. Whether it is the rasa dance or whether it is Mahavishnu, and through whom the universes come, and Garbhodakshaya Vishnu and Shirodakshaya Vishnu and all of that, anything related to the Paramatma, all of those become very, very important. Then Krishna begins to help us, because with the regulated principles, some people may stop, and that occurs to a whole lot of people when they get initiated. The activities may stop, but the desires are still there. They don't go right away. And it takes some time. How does it go? Well, the more we serve and the more we pray to get those unwanted desires also gone, then Krishna gives us a way in which we can finally mentally disconnect from it also. It is not one way for everybody. It's not one way for everybody. Any more than a doctor will give you the same medicine for different types of diseases. It's not one way for everybody. But Krishna is merciful that he will give you a way in which you can say, yes, I can relate to this, and because of this, I'm going to not deal with this regulated principle. I'll actually be able to do a much better job than just stop physically and then still keep thinking about it. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, who is in our disciplic succession line, he talked about anatta nivritti, unwanted desires, unwanted desires, desires that we don't want or desires that we should not want, desires that we don't want, or desires that some people want but we shouldn't. And one of them is, he said, nobody that is a devotee should desire to go to a heavenly planet in the next life. Let me say it again, in case you didn't hear, because that's exactly what religionists want to do. In devotees, nobody should desire to go to a heavenly planet in the next life. Now, why did Bhaktivinoda Thakur put it like that? Actually, he didn't put it like that. He was quite direct. He says, don't go to the heavenly planet next life. If you go to the heavenly planet, you have not left the material world. You haven't. You haven't. And the challenges that here in the earth and the material world, this part that we're in, the medium planet, are also present in the heavenly planets. There is more material sense enjoyment. There is more intoxication. Soma juice, that's there. And the Soma juice got Manigriva and Nalakubara in a lot of trouble. They were drunk when Narada Muni came around, and it cost them 100 years of demigods, hundreds of thousands of years living as trees. So, no, the heavenly planets are not getting out of jail. It's just for more enjoyment, materially. When we leave and go to the spiritual world, then anxiety is totally gone. Anxiety is still in the heavenly planets too. A lot of anxiety still. It doesn't stop. We know about rich people and their anxiety. Or if you're not rich, you probably don't know. But rich people also get into an anxiety, different from the anxiety that poor people get. Poor people have anxiety because they don't have money. But rich people have anxiety for a totally different reason, or totally different reasons. And their anxiety, some of it is so bad they can't even go to sleep. They have to take sleeping pills. Worried about all the things that they control and what may happen to them and who's trying to do something, who's up to, we can't trust so many people. So many things. And trouble does in fact happen. We come here easily. Come sit down, go back. A very popular and rich person There has to be some people that come in here and make sure nobody has a weapon. And when you come, there have to be people walking around them so that nobody can take a clear shot at them. They're always in anxiety, afraid. Afraid. What a life. I'll just talk about one story. This was Maryland, in Silver Spring, Maryland. I had to go to teach. I was teaching at the community college that time. And I had an early class, but I wanted to get some groceries before that. So around 6:30 in the morning, I was in a grocery store. And yeah, it's here, giant grocery store. And I was walking in the aisle, and I saw this African-American woman, quite good-looking woman, and I immediately recognized her. She was one of the TV anchors, people who talk about the news. Yeah. And so I recognized her immediately. I said, "Oh, hi, how are you?" As soon as she saw me, she just cringed and stepped back. And I realized she was afraid. She was by herself. And she had come early in the morning when not many people were in the grocery store, so she could just finish whatever. And here I am noticing her, and as soon as she acted like that, I was shocked. But my mind immediately put two and two together. Yeah, she's a TV personality. I've noticed her, and she's already afraid that I might do something to her. So what did I do? Instead of speaking with her, I apologized to her. I'm sorry, I noticed you, I'm sorry, but no, I won't bother you. And kept walking. She's wealthy, she's famous, and this is the life she lives. So, anyway, so from Ruchi, when one gets taste, to hear about Krishna repeatedly, to serve Krishna, then you get to the next stage, asakti. And asakti is when you have great attraction. I must serve, I must chant. Now, the mind that used to like, oh, you're going to do 16 rounds, it's such a long process. Now, the mind really wants to do everything in Krishna consciousness. Serve devotees enthusiastically, chant, whatever that comes up in service, you're willing to do it. You look for service. You ask to do service. You have attraction. And with that, Krishna begins to open up what a devotee's aim is, Krishna prema. We begin with the beginning stages is called bhava. And so from there, love of Krishna. Now you think about Krishna just like you think of any lover. Think of him a lot. And then finally to Krishna prema, the love of Krishna. And at that time, you're really mentally liberated. And not too many things in the material world actually concern you very much. So a devotee of God is qualified with all good qualities at that point. In fact, when you have faith and you begin to associate with devotees and remove the unwanted desires, that's purification right there. Good qualities then begin to shine. So we begin to be careful when we understand that all living entities have souls. They are living because of the soul being inside that body. And the quality of a soul is the same as the quality of soul in our bodies. Then we begin to be very careful that we don't kill other souls in smaller bodies just for convenience. Stop doing all of that. So, Krishna in Bhagavad Gita says in devotional service what is dear to him. Krishna is the one that permits us to go back home. The spiritual master pleads our case for us. The spiritual master pleads our case for us. But Krishna is the one that actually allows us finally to come home. So, Shishi Nitai Gora Chandra Ki, it is important to understand if you want Krishna's favor, And Krishna's favor and Srimati Radharani's favor, Lord Gauranga's favor, is the one that gets us out of the material world to the happiness that we seek but can't get in this particular material world. We cannot get it here. So, Krishna explains a few things about who's dear to him. One who is not envious. A person who is not envious, but is a kind friend to all living entities. A person who doesn't envy anyone, for whatever the reason is, but is friendly to all living entities. That see with the eyes that says that this particular living entity also has a soul, just like me. I'm not better. Spiritually, no. A person who does not think himself a proprietor, that is a person who understands that Krishna owns everything, not me. So what about those things that we say we own? Do we really own them? The answer is no. What really is it? It's just in our possession. That's how the devotee should look at properties. It's in my possession for a period of time. Just a lifetime. Because once you leave the body, do you own those properties anymore? You certainly don't. You don't. So we're not proprietors. But Krishna will continue to own everything, whether we're born, whether we die, everything is his. So one who does not think himself a proprietor and also is free from pride, false ego. I'm the doer. A person who understands that there is happiness and distress in this world. And when it comes, whichever one, happiness, all right, tolerate, keep serving Krishna. Distress, all right, tolerate, keep serving Krishna. And we did say that we should tolerate happiness. Well, we usually like happiness. We don't tolerate happiness. But spiritual happiness is very different from material happiness. So material happiness, you have this, you have that, and you're able to do a few things, fine. Live life, but don't be so attached to. A person who is tolerant and always satisfied, a person who controls their senses, control the senses by living according to the 4 regulative principles we talked about. And a person who engages themselves in devotional service with determination, meaning that nothing is going to stop me from doing the service that I have to do. And when they are doing the service, the mind and intelligence are fixed on Krishna. Krishna says, such a devotee is very dear to me. So these are the things that Krishna wants us to be about. We shouldn't be envious. We should be a kind friend to all living entities. We shouldn't think that we own anything, because we really don't. It's in our name, but it doesn't mean that we do. We should be free from false ego or pride. Happiness and distress, that's part of the world. Don't get too attached to it. A person is tolerant and always satisfied. And the more you chant, the more satisfied you become. Calm, self-controlled. And devotional service, you go after it with everything you have. Mind, body, all. Then you think of Krishna, and such a devotee is very, very, very dear to me, Krishna says. So, we shouldn't, and this is a little bit difficult for others, but we need to put it out because it's also, Krishna says, that person is very dear to me. One more, chapter 12, text 18. One who is equal to friends and enemies. One who is equal to friends and enemies. And the only way to understand that, especially, friendship is easy, enmity is another story. Enmity is another story. But remember that the person that is an enemy is also one with the same makeup as you spiritually. They also have soul, same quality like you. They also came from Krishna like you did. They are also going through the pains and pleasures like you're going through. The only thing is they don't want to relate to you well. Now, I'm assuming that you don't hate others now, but other people may hate you because you cannot control what they feel towards you, but you can control your feelings towards them now. And if you really have somebody that you don't like, you begin to pray for that feelings to go away. You also, some of the things you can do physically is to serve them nicely, because it will in fact change your attitude towards them, and it certainly will change the attitude towards you if you serve them nicely. So we shouldn't be attached to fame and infamy. That's the opposite. So a person who is free from contaminating association, what is that? Contaminating association. Association with others who are more interested in material things, and don't want to have anything to do with spirituality. Don't associate with them. Now, the last point we're going to talk about, this contaminating association. Contaminating association, we can say, for a number of us, we experience that on our jobs. We work with people who don't believe in Krishna. There are people who don't believe in God at all. There are people who believe in God, but they don't think God is Krishna. So all of these people that we have to work with. Those, you just do what is necessary on the job with them, but when it comes to your free time, make sure that you associate with devotees, not them. That's all. When you have control over your time, away from the work situation. But even when you're working with them, you always should maintain a very nice, association. Nice. You should be nice to them. That they see you as a person that's reliable, a person that's a nice person. Because it also says a lot about our society. Society ISKCON. The most people see us as nice people, even if they don't understand it, or some people think that we're crazy, but they don't understand as well, even that. And some people do think that way. Brahmacharis, how come he's dressed and have all the hair taken and a little bit on the back here, and they're wearing this type of dress, and on and on and on and on and on. It's not like the normal thing. Bhakti Maharaj, my Guru Maharaj, said this. Yeah, they may think we're crazy, but we are crazy for Krishna. That's why we act that way. So, yeah, relate well to them. But when it comes time away from the job, or where you can get away from non-devotees, make sure that you are with devotees. Make sure with devotees. And if you do that, engage in devotional service, Krishna says such a person is very dear to me. So here are some of the points that are important in our devotee life. So the final thing is the essence, the last text, or towards the end of Bhagavad Gita. That is the one text that from many lectures I've heard, people go back to and says that is the main point in the Bhagavad Gita. Sarva dharman parityaja mamekam sharanam praja aham tvam sarva papibhyo mokshayishami marsichaha. The translation is, abandon all varieties of religion. We already told you they want to go to heaven, and that's not the place to go. So abandon all varieties of religion and surrender to Krishna. Surrender to me. And Krishna says, I will free you from all sinful reactions. That's what keeps us in the material world. Do not fear. So with that in mind, Bhagavad Gita is a gift to all of us. And so if we follow these paths, we will do fine, and in the end, the Lord will be merciful to us, and through the service of the spiritual master, we will get to go back home to real happiness. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Are there any questions? We spend about 5 minutes or so for questions.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much for giving us.
Cool. Do you know where the master volume is? Where's the volume? The very, the right, very bottom, the right bottom. Oh, the amplifier, the right bottom. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you so much, Prabhu, for giving us the gift of Bhagavad Gita. It's not an easy thing. One point you mentioned out of many wonderful points was we should engage ourselves into devotional service without deviation. If you can elaborate a little bit on that.
The question is that we should, it was in there in one of the texts, that we should involve ourselves in devotional service without deviation. When we're serving, sometimes the mind, through Maya, tests us. And they ask, do you really want to do this? Oh, today you're tired, therefore maybe you should postpone. Yes, I got initiated and I promised to do 16 rounds, but today I'm not up to the task. Those will come, but we should use our intelligence to say, but there is so much to gain from doing this. And we'll take it as tapasya, we'll take it as an austerity, even though the body is challenging us, but we'll do it anyway. We'll do it anyway, knowing what we stand to gain. Then Krishna knows that we're very serious then. And so whatever that comes, so we know it is devotional service, and when those thoughts come that say, maybe we should just postpone this, or maybe we should just change this, or some things that we used to do, maybe we should just lower the quality of what we do. Never accept that. That way we won't deviate from what we're doing. Good question. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Yeah. You know how to work?
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Actually, I liked Dear Krishna's question. That was really a powerful question. One thought that came to my mind, and I have a question after that. One thought that came to my mind is, when we go to work, half the things that we do we don't like. We just do it because we are forced to do so. And I think at the end of the day, we get a paycheck, the green dollar bill. And devotional service, we don't see a paycheck. But then I'm reminded of a comment by Chandramali Swami, where he says that we have to, whenever the mind questions, why are you doing this? You could probably watch a Super Bowl game, or probably it's raining, just sit home and just have a cup of tea and go under the comforter or something like that, right? Then he says that we have to ask ourselves, do we want a temporary happiness or permanent happiness? That's what Chandramali Swami says. And if we say we want permanent happiness, then we just push ourselves and do it. If we want temporary happiness, then we can say that. Then we just say. So that came to my mind because I remember that question from another class that someone else asked. So thank you. That was a very nice question. Thank you for the class. Very nice essence of Bhagavad Gita. This being a Gita month, Prabhupada's month, as we call it. You touched upon the 9 stages of devotional service, and I wanted to ask, the first one being Shraddha. How can we really develop faith and really believe in that process?
So the question is about how to develop faith. The faith comes in different ways. One of the ways is to just understand that what is available to us, which is nature, that's what we're dealing with now in this world, that there is, in fact, an architect, an engineer for nature. we do not know of things just coming on their own without somebody putting them into existence. And so who is that personality that has done that? That's who the Lord is. That's who God is. And if nature is as, in many ways, fantastic and as wonderful, and the operations in nature are so profound, and that's been put forward by this personality, then I must believe in the power of that personality. And from that, so this is even a material way of looking at having faith in God. Sometimes we're born into a family, they said God did this, and you just believe. But the proof is by looking at nature. So this same statement can be used even to turn the minds of somebody who's an atheist, because nobody can produce nature the way it is now. Nobody. And not only that, we can also make the argument that we depend on nature. Without nature, we cannot do anything. We can't even live. We can't live. Where is the oxygen to breathe? It's in nature. Where's the fire that we use to cooking things or keeping ourselves warm? It's in nature. So everything depends on nature, and since we have the experience that things have to be put in operation by somebody that makes them, then nature is also made by the person. Now, if they argue, but you say God, you've never seen God. You talk about nature, yes, I can't argue, but you've never seen God. All right? There is the Empire State Building in New York, isn't there? Do you know who built it? Does anybody here know who built the Empire State Building? I don't see any hands go up. Mine didn't go up either. Does that mean that it came on its own? Didn't somebody build it? Yeah. So the fact that you haven't seen God does not mean that he didn't put nature into place. And then it gets better because we have seen God. So we can show you, but that's, you can put that in later. But the fact is you can use nature to argue to the point that there must be God and there has to be faith in God because nature is so powerful. Therefore, the person who made nature has to be even more powerful than nature to be able to put it in place. So this is from total Kami standpoint answering that faith in God. Hare Krishna. Yeah.
Actually, as you were speaking, I was remembering a lecture by a lecture by Srila Prabhupada that he gave, I think, in 1967 or something, where somebody asked him, Prabhupada, how do you know that God exists? And then he says, have you taken poison? And this person said, no. He says, why not? How do you know that it's poison? He says, you have to take it to know that it's poison. How do you know that's not a poison? He says the same thing. I'm saying God exists, so what's your problem? And everybody laughed when he said that because, we know poison is poison, then what's wrong with God? So I was just remembering that pastime. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Interesting analogy. Any other questions? All winning in. Can you, yeah.
Sorry for late.
No problem.
My question may be not related with the class. So speaking truth, when we follow Krishna consciousness and in our real life, when we speak truth, is a crime or we don't need to speak truth? So what is happening, sometime when we speak truth, we are in trouble. At workplace or any other place or in temple. When you speak truth, then I don't know what happens. So sometimes we get trouble. So is it the way we need to work or we need to work different way?
So the question is about speaking truth. So if I heard correctly, sometimes depending on the situation, you can speak truth and then wind up in trouble because you spoke the truth. So basically asking what you do in a situation like that. First of all, we have to support truth. It is good to speak truth. It is always good to speak truth. When we are Krishna conscious, when we are supported by the Lord, we will not be fearful in different situations. And because, so you might get in trouble, but that generates fear. And that's why we stay away from that. The other thing about truth, though, is it has to be palatable. You got to speak it in such a way that the person can take it. Sometimes you may use words that are very raw and very cutting, and sometimes even borderline offending to speak that, and that can cause the person who is hearing, or a person who's supposed to make a decision, or whatever it is, to have a negative response to that. So you have to speak truth, but the truth must be palatable. And the way you say palatable truth is you use mild words. I'll give one example. Srila Prabhupada many times has said some things in speaking truth himself, rather than saying that this is bad, the word bad, because bad just, generates sometimes negative responses too. Rather than use the word bad, he's used the whole 4 words, will not help us. See, I didn't say bad. Doing so and so and so will not help us. So, of course, somebody doing something bad, you're telling them to stop. But if you use will not help us, it conveys the same meaning. It will not help you. Why would you do something that won't help you? Therefore, stop. So there's a whole art to speaking like that, but when you speak palatably, you can, in fact, speak truth in so many situations. Sometimes you have to get yourself physically away from a situation that's terrible. That's just a move that you have to make. Rather than stay there and say something that's not true, you can excuse yourself and leave a situation. It's very critical. It's even life-threatening. That situation too. You can, in fact, take actions in that way. But it is always best to stay away from not telling the truth. You use mild words, or sometimes, depending on the situation you're in, you can, in fact, get away from it. Remove yourself physically so you don't have to deal with it. There are other ways too, but maybe these couple for now. Hare Krishna. Yeah. Good question. Any other? Maybe last question, if there is. All right. So thank you very much for allowing me to do this service. Srila Prabhupada ki, Vaishnava Thakur ki, Nitai Gaura Premanande, Hari Hari Bo Jai. You have our take now? Okay. I guess me, I don't know. I'm assuming. Are you assuming? I don't know.
Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakti Sadma Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakti Sadma Bandha Mui Savadhana Mate Bandha Mui Savadhana Mate Jahara Prasade Bhai E Bhavatoriya Jai Krishna Prapti Hoy Jaha Hoy Te Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Ganga Mai ki, Jamuna Mai ki, Tulsi Devi ki, Bhakti Devi ki, Hare Krishna Mahamantra ki, Samaveda Bhakti Vrinda ki, Nitai Gaura Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the lotus feet of Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga. Glory to the Prabhupada.
Shringadev Bhagavan ki jai, Shri Prahlad Maharaj ki jai, Nitai Gaura Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Namaste Narashimhaya. Namaste Narashimhaya. Praladadayine. Praladadayine. Hiranyakashipurvakshaha. Shilatankanakalaye. Ito Narsimha Parato Narsimha. Ito Narsimha Parato Narsimha. Yato yato yamitato Narsimha. Yato yato yamitato Narsimha. Bahir Narsimha, Hirdaye Narsimha. Bahir Narsimha, Hirdaye Narsimha. Narsimha Madim Sharanam Prapade. Narsimha Madim Sharanam Prapade. तव कर कमल वरे नखा मधुत श्रृंगार दलिता हिरण्यकशिपु तानुभृंगा केशवधृता नरहरि रूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे तव कर कमल वरे नखा मधुत श्रृंगार दालिता हिरण्यकशिपु तानुभृंगा केशवधृता नरहरि रूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे हरि बोल जय जगदीश हरे जय नरसिंहदेव 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 जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव 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 जय नरसिंहदेव जय प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद नित्य गुर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल गुर हरि बोल निताय गुर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गुर हरि बोल निताय गुरु प्रेमानंदे शिव के विनाशक नशिकदेव भगवान की प्रहलाद महाराज की निताय गुरु प्रेमानंदे
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Srila Prabhupada ki, Nitya Gaura Chandra ki, Jagannath Bari Subhadra ki, Jai. I want to welcome devotees to our Sunday program. Despite the weather, which is raining, I'm happy that many of us could still beat the weather and overcome the weather and still come out. You know, in this part of in this time of the year and the season, I'm grateful that it rains, because if it's not rain, it's snow. So I'll take the rain to come to the temple, but not snow. I don't like snow, to be honest with you. So whenever I say, thank you, Krishna, it's not snowing. So that's how I beat my mind to come to the temple. It's not snow. So I'm grateful for that. So thank you all for coming out. We want to welcome a new family, Puneet and his family from York. Haribol, thank you so much for coming. It's their first time here, and they brought such wonderful bhoga for the deities. Thank you so much. And thank you. Now we can cook more and feed them more. Thank you so much. Such wonderful offerings, and we thank you, and we hope that you will come every week. We will definitely connect with you after the program, and we'll take down your information. You can add it to our e-bulletin. Thank you so much. Please come again. We are here to serve you. Hari Hari Bol. And we want to welcome our devotee who just got initiated. I'm going to think a little bit, because I was just talking to Swarna Goranga yesterday, that his name, Swarna Goranga, and his name is a tongue twister for me. See? Sarvanga Sundara Damodar Das. Ki Jai. He took shelter of his spiritual master, His Holiness Lokanath Swami, a couple of days after Prabhupada's Tirubhava, after Prabhupada's disappearance. So we're happy. I told him that I would call him Damodar, his last name out of the three, because when I call him, I keep saying Swarna Goranga. There's only one Swarna Goranga, so I'll call you Damodar. Please forgive me. Then I'll be calling both of you Swarna Goranga. So we highly encourage devotees that, welcome him, bless him. Even when he got his initiation up until now, he's always been telling him, Mataji, I just want the devotees' blessings. That's all he wants. So please offer him your blessings that he can continue to serve the Lord. And we encourage devotees to please address him. And I want to ask all of you, if you know, why is it that we need to call the devotee by their new initiated name? Any one of you have an answer why we do that? We are reminding him of the Lord because his name ends with Das. That's the big thing. The second reason is, and I will share with you what His Holiness Chandramali Swami says, when we call the devotee who is already initiated by their birth name, we are reminding them of their material birth. Do you want that? Nah. Stinking, right? So that's why we do not do that. We call the devotee by their initiated name because we are reminding them of their spiritual birth. Their material birth is behind them. That is why they surrendered and took shelter of Krishna, of the spiritual master. They begin a new beginning. So when we call them by the devotee name, we are reminding them, you are a devotee of the Lord. This is your spiritual beginning. Your material birth is in the dumpster, pretty much. So we welcome you, Sarvanga Sundar Damodar Das Swarna Goranga. I'm going to be messing your name, both your names, but welcome. Welcome. Srila Prabhupada ki. Wonderful, wonderful. Couple of announcements. This month, as we mentioned, is actually Gita month, Prabhupada's month. In 1966-67, Prabhupada set the month of December as Gita month because it's the month of Christmas. It's the time of giving and sharing. So this is the time that we give and we share. So we want to definitely use the time for Christmas to share the glories of the Bhagavad Gita. But before we go on that, I would like to ask, how many of you this month have to go see a doctor, take your car into the shop? Give him a Bhagavad Gita. And my husband, he's going to the mechanic too, he said. He's raised his hands. Why I say that, these are the ways why we can give the Bhagavad Gita. If we are going to the doctor's office, they have a waiting room, leave a Bhagavad Gita there. If you're going to a laundromat to wash your comforters, that's what I do because it's too fat for my washing machine. There's a waiting room there, leave a Bhagavad Gita. If you're going to rent a car, there's a waiting room, leave a Bhagavad Gita there. There are so many opportunities to leave a Bhagavad Gita in any place that has a waiting room. Countless. I just did a research, Googling a week ago. There are at least 8 laundromats in Cumberland County. And only one of the 8 has Bhagavad Gita. And that is also because my husband goes and does laundry and he reads the Bhagavad Gita each time. He goes back and it's gone. And then he's another one again. So there are so many opportunities. So please, if any of you are visiting any of the places this month that has a waiting room, a little table with magazines and Women's Day and GQ and whatever, put a Bhagavad Gita there. Please see where's Nitya Gopal? He ran away. Oh, okay. He's getting his job, see? That's why we have him. Please see him at the end of the program, pick up more books, drop it off. This is the way why we are giving people an opportunity to give Prabhupada to them, the Bhagavad Gita to them. Even if you are in a plane, the little pouch in front of you, put a Bhagavad Gita. There are so many opportunities. We just got to broaden our horizon, think out of the box, as they say, and really find ways to spread the glories of the Bhagavad Gita. So if you need more, please see him, and he'll be happy. And this way, we are really, really sharing the glories of Bhagavad Gita. And if you forget that you have a doctor's appointment, and you think, oops, I have to see a doctor, contact Nitya Gopal right away to get a book, and then you can put it in any of those offices. Thank you so much. We want to also let devotees know that we're still in the process of fixing our kitchen. If you go down, the flooring has been done, thanks to Dhaka Prabhu. Him and Mandeep worked really hard. The flooring is completely finished. If you look at the flooring, it looks like a floor. It's really nice. Now they're working on the painting project. One wall of the paint is done, so there's 3 more walls to go. And we are hoping next thing is to get the sink moved and get the plumbing done, so that's going to move. So please bear with us. It's Christmas time, so sometimes it's difficult to even get the plumbers and all that to come out. So please tolerate us, but we're trying to get this project done as soon as possible, but we are at the mercy of the contractors when they can come available. But thank God the flooring is done, 1 wall is done. We are in the process to purchase a commercial stove for the kitchen, and it's going to be a gas burner. So we hope to get it in the next week or 2. So we're going to see new things happening for Nitai Guru Chandra. They know what they want and they work through us. So please bear with us with all these changes. And if you want to peek into the kitchen, you can. You know, we blocked it because we don't want anyone going in and out, but you can definitely peek in and see how the floor looks. But it looks really nice, and I really want to thank Dhaka Prabhu. Really, Dhaka. He really, really worked on it. He got the contractor and he was on it. Really good. Thank you so much. And he's still going to make sure that the project gets done. So thank you. Really appreciate it. Hari Hari Bol. Couple of other things we want to mention is December 22nd is Gita Jayanti. That is when Lord Krishna spoke the Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. And it's a Friday program. It's going to be in the evening at 5:30. And it'll be in the temple room. We will be reciting the Bhagavad Gita in English, complete in 3 hours. Yes, it is possible. We've done it before, and it is magnificent. A wonderful, wonderful opportunity. So please do join us. We will send out the emails, and it'll be at 5:30 p.m. And we're going to start on time, American Standard Time, not Indian Standard Time, because it takes 3 hours. So we got to start on time, end on time. So if we start at 5:30, that means we need devotees to be here before 5:30. So because 5:30, we're going to press it and we're going to start it. So please do join us. Such a beautiful, beautiful experience. There's no way to describe it. And then as we read it, to really think, my God, Krishna spoke this to Arjuna 5,000 years ago? It's like amazing. We are very fortunate. So please do join us. Our next program will be December 31st, which is New Year's Eve. And it falls on a Sunday. So we're going to tweak the Sunday program a little bit. It's going to be from 7 p.m. up until midnight, as opposed to 4:30, because we don't want to keep the deities up too late. They need their nap in the afternoon, a little longer nap, so they can stay up and have a good time with us, because, they love to have fun with, their devotees. So it'll be from 7 p.m. to midnight, and we will send out the details more. And Dear Krishna will put an email together, but the prasadam for that New Year's Eve will be potluck. So he's going to put a whole plan together, and we're going to have like a sign-up sheet for devotees to bring prasadam. So please do look out for that emails. Couple of more announcements is we ask parents with children ages 12 and below to please watch your kids. Children are going up and down the stairs during Aarti because the parents are busy dancing in kirtan. We got smart kids. Like I always say, as soon as the kid knows how to turn on the remote control, don't underestimate them. I raised 2 daughters, so I know. Don't ever underestimate that they are, litty bitty. No, they are, no doubt. But that's when they know, mommy's distracted, daddy's distracted, I'm going to walk out of this temple and go up and down. So we don't want the kids to get hurt. So please, we are seeing kids going up and down, and they need adult supervision. If they need to go to the bathroom, please take them. They cannot be going because they're going to get hurt. I've seen kids zoom downstairs about to slip and fall the steps. Please, please, please. We are doing this to protect your children. We don't want anyone to get hurt. Last but not the least, a quick question before I say why I'm asking the question. If we know the temple belongs to, everything is Krishna's, right? The lighting, the doors, the kitchen, everything is Krishna. Now, if Krishna were to walk into the temple lobby and see the shoe room, he's going to get a migraine headache, I think. The shoes are all over the place. We need to be very, very conscientious that this is Krishna's house. It's not just any other building, like what we go to office. It's Krishna's house. When we come in, please do place the shoes on the shoe rack. Thank you, dear Krishna. This is his 3rd time that he has done arranging the shoes, but it's not an easy task. Try doing it 1 week and you'll see, oh my God. We do it unknowingly, but once we put the shoes, then we'll think, don't we have a little intelligence here to put this is Krishna's house? So please do understand this is Krishna's house. We want to make everything pleasing for Krishna. Last announcements is we are humbly requesting parents that when your children make plates of prasadam, they tend to eat more than they want, and we see so much prasadam being wasted in the trash can. Prasadam is Krishna's remnants. And kids, they're innocent. They don't know. They're still learning. So it's on parents to train the children, take enough. Sometimes the eyes are more hungry than the stomach. That's just always the case. But kids don't know. So we need to really train the children. We see a lot of prasadam being wasted. Cups after cups. Everything is Krishna. Even the cups is Krishna's energy. So please help your children to take just what they need and not waste, because it's really painful for the devotees who are cleaning to see prasadam just in the trash can. It's so much wasted. So please be attentive with that. Before we end, I'm going to ask Suvrat, nice try, I caught you, young man, to say the prasadam prayers.
Mahaprasade Govinde, Namo Brahmane Vaishnave, Sodha Punyavatam Rajan, Vishwasone Vijayate, Osharida Vidyaja,
Jodindriya taheka Jive fale veshe sagare Otaramate jivayate Lobomai sudharmati Dakshidakatin samsare O Krishna parodayamai Kori vare jivo jai Swaprasadamam nilobai O se anamrita pao Radha Krishna gunagao Premadako Shri Chaitanya Nitai Jani Mai Jani Tai Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Shishi Mahaprasadam ki Jai Jai Shri serve downstairs, and please take darshan.
Because it was disappearance.